Welcome to the Back 9 6-pack with Mitch and Justin. Let's roll.
Hello and welcome to episode 135 of the Back 9 6-pack. My name is Mitch, joined as always by my colleague in the Patrick Sparks jersey, Justin.
March
How are you doing,
Madness.
buddy?
Oh, it's March Madness. I am fucking psyched out. I'm in the process of getting tickets for what were kind of talking about back and forth. Miami, Ohio is playing at the First 4 in Dayton. I'm in the process of obtaining tickets for Wednesday.
Oh,
that atmosphere is electric, dude. It is like, if you've never been to an NCAA tournament, start there. Like, especially if you're in our area, like start there because it's electric. It really, especially the 16 seed games, I think in person are better than like the 11 seeds that play.
yeah, because you get the teams that are like truly like, you know, they only got in because they won their conference tourney or whatever, and they're just trying to make their way into the actual field of 64. It's a lot of fun. And Dayton's a very underrated basketball arena.
Oh,
I love that place.
Big time underrated. Yeah, and UD Arena, since they redid it, is like, it's elite. Like for like a small college, like a small university, a smaller university, or a mid-major, like that arena is like an elite place to watch a basketball game.
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah. I wish I could go again. I got to take Zach a couple years ago, and absolute blast for sure. But yeah, you've been scaring me a little bit. I feel like you're pre-tilting Kentucky already.
So I guess we should go into that. So we've got a day planned on Friday.
Yeah.
That I don't think you're joining us for golf, from my understanding, but
No.
You're going to join us afterwards for the games on Friday.
Yep.
And you know, this was before the schedule came out, all this. Like, honestly, I'm glad we scheduled it before the schedule came out. I don't know if I could have, like, prepared. Like, it would have been a no. Like, it'd have been like, I'll golf, but then I'm going to go home and watch this game by myself. But we're going to do it. And I'm going to tell you right now, like, if they lose, I'll crash. Like, and it's going to be, it might be the most epic crash out ever. Like, worse than St. Peter's, worse than fucking Jack Golke. Like the Jack Golke game, people are like, how mad were you? I'm like, dude, it was like the writing on the wall that you already knew was there. Like Cal was like sniffing around when leaving, or like Kentucky was sniffing around trying to get him out. And it was like, that happens. And it's like, it was just kind of, it was kind of almost like, okay, now you actually have a legit reason to like move on from him, because it's like hard to move on from a Hall of Fame coach. So like, yes, I was mad, but like not like, this is going to be like over St. Peter's level of crash out.
Yeah, I text you. I said, look, I want good things for you, but I do want good things for me. And I think witnessing you crash out would be quite enjoyable. Respectfully.
Look, but we've also talked, and I said that the more I look at, like, and I kind of do some research, and, you know, yes, December basketball doesn't really mean anything. I get that. But like, the more I look at it, like, yes, they're in a conference with Gonzaga. They're not going to deny it. Gonzaga, if you go back like 15 years, probably is like a top 2 or 3 program in college basketball.
Yeah.
And they only have a national championship. They've just been that good for that long. Right.
Right.
And they have St. Mary's in their conference. But like, outside of that, like, you got like 5-point games in the month of February against like Pacific. That's where I'm like, you get credit. But here's the thing, like, they're not even getting credit for like beating Gonzaga. Like, well, they played Gonzaga close. It's like, okay, like, you play them 3 times in a year. You should at least play them close one time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even if they are like that much better than you. So the more I look at it, the more I'm like, okay, I'm feeling comfortable, and what makes me feel even more comfortable is everybody's picking Santa Clara. Everybody's picking them, which and we've watched this tournament enough. The teams that people are talking about the most that are going to be like the upsets are never the ones that actually are the people upsetting people. So like, I get it, metrics and all this stuff. Like, they're technically higher in the net and stuff like that. Or, you know, the old RPI or whatever. But we've got good guards, and I'm just like praying to God that it's like, that's sometimes the difference in March Madness. So
yeah, the one thing with the March Madness that kind of like stinks a little bit right now is you don't really, if to what you just said, right? Like everybody's kind of on the same like Cinderellas or the underdogs or whatever, right? Like there's no real hiding the teams that are sneaky like that anymore.
No.
I mean, you're going to get your, like your St. Peter's came out of nowhere and the Golke thing, like those are going to be lightning in a bottle things that happen. But like, when our buddy Trevor, he watches so much college basketball. I'm always texting about college basketball. And he like immediately, as soon as the bracket came out, before anybody could have said anything, texted me, was like, Santa Clara over Kentucky is going to hit like crack. And then everybody wants to talk about is Santa Clara now. Yeah. So it's just like you have someone that watches it like that, that's like excited to, bet on like a mid-major team, kind of gets ruined
for the record, if Santa Clara was playing like name another 7 seed, no one's like, people are probably like not that high on that being an upset, right?
Sure.
Like just from a standpoint of like it doesn't hit, like you picking Santa Clara to be a down UCLA program is not like, it's kind of one of those things. It's like, yeah, it's cool. UCLA is like a blue blood, quote unquote, but it's like it's not the same as beating Kentucky, right? Like,
right.
You know what I mean? So I think if they played another 7 seed, would it be as talked about? Probably not. I think people would still pick them because they're not a bad team and they're a mid-major and stuff like that. But like, it wouldn't be as talked about. It's the most. It's probably the most talked about first round game just because Kentucky $22 million roster, which I, for the record, don't believe. Like, I don't believe that. Like, is it probably like 12 or 15 or 16? Is it one of the highest? Probably, but it's not 22. Like, but it's still, it's like you got that budget versus, Santa Clara that's probably got what? They're $1.5 million in NIL, like going against, so that it's always a story. It's always going to be a story, but yeah, it's hard to hide. Like you said, it's hard to hide as a Cinderella one, because all the games are televised now.
Yeah.
Like if you have ESPN Plus, you can watch a MEAC game on like a Thursday. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's no, like it used to be, it was like championship week, they'd show their championship game. And you're like, that's the first time you saw that team.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's just tough. You can't, I don't know. All the numbers are right there for you, like you said, and it just,
but
people
latch on. We're high on the Panthers, right? Of High Point, both of us. That is our combined like Cinderella team.
For sure.
Who did they got in the first round?
I have not looked at a bracket yet. To be honest with you.
They got Wisconsin.
Oh,
the Big Ten team. They're ripe for the picking.
That's very ripe for the picking.
Yeah. They got Wisconsin. That's what I remember. Wisconsin's volatile. They're an offensive juggernaut, but that's also volatile. They don't play a whole lot of defense, which I love for our Panthers.
Exactly.
Our Panthers are high octane.
Our king that has like no 2-point field goals and
and he wears number 99.
Yeah, and he's like 50% 3-point shooter. Yeah,
like that's the stuff that gets remembered, right? Like that dude goes off for like 28 and goes like 6 for 7 from 3. Like that's the stuff. Like dude wearing 99 is going to be in a highlight for the rest of his life. Like
yeah, for sure. I think last year this strategy kind of got dusted because it was a heavy favorite tournament. But I think this year feels good for the just bet the underdogs situation and see where you net out at the end of it. Yeah,
I think so. And just so you know, like remember that strategy that we took where we bet all the underdogs and like
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so that did not play out very well last year.
That's what I said. It was a heavily favorite tournament.
I feel like we got to have a year where we kind of swing the pendulum back the other way. It was so chalky last year. And I get like this year is the biggest spread for like the top tier teams, like 1 and 2 seeds, and then the rest of the field, like the biggest metric spread ever. And I feel like that's just setting us up for someone getting picked off early. Like it just like you can't put that stuff out in the universe and some dude that's at High Point or Hofstra is just like eating to like make that someone eat their words. So I'm looking forward to it. It's my favorite time of the year by far.
Yeah, I just think you're going to get in that range, like the 4 through 13 seeds kind of situation. So your 12-5s, your 11-6s, all that. There's so many just like super mid, like power like conference teams, there's going to be some that take some big L's.
Yes,
that's just how I feel.
I agree.
So, all right. Well, we're looking forward to Friday for sure. That'll be nice to have a little half day, grab a couple drinks, watch UK lose, and watch you crash out.
Oh.
So, thank you all for listening. Please subscribe, rate, review the show. Follow us on social media at Back96Pack. We had an awesome Players Championship this weekend. Did you get to catch much?
I watched Sunday. I didn't watch before that, though.
It was kind of in and out. Usually I'll catch a little more on Thursdays and Fridays, but the weather delay kind of messed things up, and then had some different childcare situations going on. But this weekend was pretty awesome.
I wish I had caught more on Saturday. But I did get to watch pretty much like the last 12 holes on Sunday, which that's the best part of that tournament, bar none.
Yeah. I think this week solidified it as my favorite Florida event. We talked about that 2 weeks ago or whatever. It just, we'll get more into Sawgrass later with something else we have planned, but there's just so much danger all over the course. And I know, like, if you want to talk architecture, blah, 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 whatever, like, I know water everywhere is not that awesome and thick rough and all that, but like for the pros, like the fact that there's just like a double bogey that could happen at any point in time, that's good for exciting tournament golf.
Oh, I don't disagree with that. And honestly, 16, 17, and 18 can be absolute carnage for guys. Yeah. And I don't hate that either. I really don't. Like those are, if the rest of the course was like anywhere close to 16, 17, 18, I'd be all in on TPC Sawgrass. Unfortunately, it's like there's some very forgettable holes out there. But 16, 17, 18 on Sunday, coming down in a tight tournament is it's must-watch TV.
I mean, I know it's a little gimmicky because of 17 and all that, but like, I don't think there's a better finish on tour.
No, I would doubt. Yeah, it's not like if you're talking like a collection of holes. Yeah, there's no better like final 2 or 3 holes collection on any course that they play.
Yeah, I mean, TPC for the Waste Management, Phoenix, sorry. That one's kind of similar.
Yeah.
Different order of the 3 drivable 4 and the par 4 over water. But that, like, Pebble, maybe. But, like, it doesn't really come down to those holes all that often.
No, like, yeah, I mean, 18... And unfortunately about Pebble 18, like you can kind of blow it pretty far right, and like if you have like a 2 or 3 shot lead, you're not even toying with that water. Can't really do that on 18 at TBC, like
no,
unless you want to end up in the pine needles, like like our boy Matt Fitzpatrick. But
right,
but yeah, I agree. Like it's got to be the best finishing holes.
Yeah. So yeah, we kind of buried the lead here. Cam Young won the Players. Formerly Scam Young, now officially not.
We fucking talked about it on here too, about like, well, maybe it's his time to win like a big one, right?
Yeah.
Not like the Wyndham, with like a kind of a crappy field.
Yeah, I mean, he wins the Wyndham last year, has a really good first Ryder Cup showing, turns around this year, apparently did a bunch of like equipment changes and all that in the off season, and boom, knocks off the Players. Biggest win of his career, obviously, and a huge step forward. Beats Matt Fitzpatrick by 1 shot. So he birdied 17, just a nasty shot, and then to drip the 10-footer in, kind of a big bender on that putt, and then on 18, the drive of his life, 375
that
yards.
Thing was on a fucking rope, like an absolute rope.
Yeah, just I mean, I can't even say enough good words.
And by the way, an under talked about storyline, he dumped it in the water the day before.
Yeah, he made
and
double.
Stepped up and hit that tee shot on 18, tied.
Yeah, I mean, that was just stones for sure. I put it in our agenda, just a question, like, Cam Young, does he win a major?
It might be his year. It might be.
I think he's already shown some really good form earlier in his career when he hadn't won yet in majors, and like, seems like he's a guy when the course gets tough and conditions are hard, like he seems to rise. His swing, I know the pause and stuff like that, but
it might be like the most like textbook, like is textbook. Other than the pause, his swing is so repeatable. It's not even funny.
The power that he has in his swing is just
with
absurd.
The pause. That's the thing is like he pauses and still has that much power. You're like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. He kind of like, I kind of see both like Brooks and DJ in his game. Because like, he's kind of got the calm, just walk, the swagger, kind of how DJ did. And he just brutalizes the golf ball when he wants to, man.
Yes.
And that's like what Brooks always did, just, man. I don't know. I actually like watching him play. I don't know that we'll ever get much out of him personality wise. He seems just kind of quiet, reserved family guy. I had no idea he has 3 kids. Just absolutely stunned to hear that. I
didn't know that either. Yeah, did not know that either.
No, I had no clue. So yeah, I don't know. This is another one of those guys where like you win a big event, and I kind of hope we get to see a little and hear a little more from him over the coming years. Just to, I'd be down to be a fan of Cam Young. I just don't know enough about him.
Yeah, he's dropped the scam tag. We've dropped that after the Ryder Cup. That he's lost that tag. He is no longer a scam. For sure. I'm still terrified to bet him, but but I tell you, I could see him winning a major this year. The way he's playing, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, especially
like a U.S. Open.
I think U.S. Open makes the most sense. But he flashed at the Open too. So I could see it either way. Speaking of scams, is Ludvig a scam?
He might be. And that's I hate that when I do this. Like I want to give someone credit for their take, but like they're like, everybody's like, oh, he's so calm, and collected. It's like just because he doesn't show it on the outside doesn't mean he's not feeling it on the inside, right?
Right.
Like, and it clearly showed. Like he didn't look rattled, but he was also snap hooking tee balls into the water. So, you can be all calm and on the outside, but that doesn't mean you're like, I don't know. He's been an interesting case of like, he has all the intangibles, but it's like you see him do something like that. Maybe that propels him like it did Akshay, right? Where it's like, all right, he had that one time and kind of fell apart, but now he's not going to feel the nerves the next time he's in that same situation. I hope so, because I feel like he's such a good player and he's got all the skills, but that was tough to watch on Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, I love watching Ludvig play. He seems like a great guy. But yeah, the Sundays are a little wobbly still. He shoots 76 yesterday, came into the round with a 3-shot lead, and it was pretty much all on the back nine. Like the bogey on 11, rinses one, makes double on 12. I mean, just completely evaporated from the scene at that point. And it's weird because like he's done. I mean, he won the Genesis last year when it was played at Torrey. It's not like he's a guy who's like trying to get the monkey of the first win off the back or whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
But like early it's one of those things too where, earlier in the tournament, he's chipping in, for eagle, chipping in for birdie, making a lot of putts, shoots 63 on Saturday, and you're just kind of like, man, I don't know if this is fully sustainable. Like it turned out not to be, 76 on Sunday. So I don't think it's a scam. I like Ludvig, but yesterday was a tough scene. I thought we were set up for him to kind of walk away with it. And he just never really got out of the starting blocks, to be honest. Yeah,
I would. It was tough to watch though. Like he got away with that drive on 11. Did you see that? Did you see the replay where they showed he got away with that one? That was going to be a smother hook too, and he kind of like held it off just enough to kind of like straighten it out. Yeah. And then the next hole was like, I kind of in the back of my head was like, dude, he held that off just enough to not smother that. And then next one's like. It's like, damn, okay, there it is. All right, that's what the last one would have been if he didn't hold it off,
Yeah. It's like the classic over adjustment for what you did in the hole prior. But man, this was again. I say this was an awesome tournament. The leaderboard was really freaking good.
Yes, it was.
Second place, Matt Fitzpatrick had a real chance to win. Just honestly, I think he was unfortunate to be. It was downwind on 18 yesterday. because it looked like he hit that ball right down the middle, and it just freaking carried through.
Well, and the under talked about part of that next shot, like, dude, like hitting a wedge downwind, like that is not easy. Like distance control, and he barely kept that on the back of the green because that actually rolls off back there. But it was still a phenomenal. It's after in that position, knowing it's like, all right, just like. You want to get it back there. You don't want to leave it short, but then like to actually get it to stop on the back was pretty impressive too.
Yeah, so I don't know. Fitzpatrick's had a really good spring. Hasn't won anything yet, but we'll see how long he can stay hot and if he's going to win anything coming up. But he's been in really good form. Xander, tough Saturday, but bounced back yesterday, finished third. Signs of improvement from him, although I think he's been hanging out with Patrick Cantlay too much. He takes for fucking ever to hit a golf ball right now. I don't know. He's got a lot of swing thoughts or something going on, but man, it is a tough watch at the moment. Big shot Bob McIntyre got in the picture until he just detonated himself on 16.
Yeah. That shot he hit from the rough, and it's like, it never had a chance, like ever had a chance of stopping.
No, that's tough. I mean, he flared it out, kind of anti-water swing on his second shot in, and then gets stuck in the moguls over there, and just not good. That's not where you want to be,
dude. What about the rough this week?
Hey, they let it go.
Was hardy. It was a hardy set of rough.
It definitely was.
Especially you get in those hills, and it's like, JT got on one yesterday on 14, and it was like. I mean, he barely advanced the ball like 80 yards, 100 yards or something like that, and had no idea where it was going. Like he actually made a pretty good recovery shot from there, like chipped it on, but it was crazy to kind of see that kind of penalty for like missing a fairway. I like that. That's how you get these guys to kind of not shoot 25 under pars. Like there's got to be some kind of penalty if you're just going to blow balls every which way. You can't just get away with it,
Yeah, that was definitely the case this week. Like, you're either in the water or you're in this tall shit or the pine straw, one of the three.
Yeah.
If you're not hitting the fairway. So it was, and the greens were so firm that, you're not going to hold anything.
Yeah, not from that fairway. Rough. Yeah. Yep.
So, interesting test. Tied for fifth, Sudarshan Yelamaraju, young Canadian player who apparently taught himself how to play golf on YouTube. And
then I guess his dad like worked in an office building in Canada that was like next to a golf course.
Yeah,
that nothing to do with golf, but like he saw the golf course and like ended up getting very interested in it. Yeah, and kind of taught himself the game. It's kind of wild,
very wild. So somebody to watch for sure. He's a lefty too, so just interesting. When he pops up on your screen, you're like,
no lefty has a bad swing. That's a rule of golf, by the way.
That is a rule, unless your name's Brian Harmon. Also T5, Jacob Bridgman, who's having himself a hell of a year. And then Ludvig fell back to T5 after that 76. Tommy Fleetwood, T8, just like the most Tommy Fleetwood tournament of all time, like the non-competitive top 10. He was T8 with Sepp and JT. Did you see Sepp on 18 yesterday?
I did not, no.
No, he's in the right trees and the pine stuff, and he had to punch out and just hits an absolute piss missile off like a bird.
I did. Yeah, and it almost like bounced back.
Almost stayed in, but no. He just drills a bird, and then it ends up trickling back into the water anyway. That was a funny way to end.
Tough day to be a member of PETA.
Yeah, tough. Very tough for the animals there. And then the rest of the notables here. T13, Brooks had a pretty good week. A lot of kind of fucked around with a couple doubles here and there and didn't finish strong, but I would not have expected this round from him at this point. So
no,
the tournament, I should have said. And then Hovland doing a lot of chipping and putting, not much ball striking. That's unusual for him, but T13. And along with Justin Rose, T22 is where Scotty shook out. What are we feeling with Scotty here?
The multiple fist pump miss putts.
Yeah.
Kind of funny, honestly. Like,
very funny.
I think it's funny because, like, if it's from someone that's a hothead, it's not as funny. You're like, no, we expect that. From him, that's why it makes it funny, because he's like pretty level-headed. But I think we might be back in a situation where we were a couple years ago, where it was like the putter, like maybe he just needs to make a change. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't dug too deep in the stats. I mean, it definitely seems like he's a little off the tee. Like, he hit some wild tee shots.
Yeah, I saw one he hit on 17. I think he was trying to hit a draw, and he just got stuck and just blistered it dead right, like way right.
Yeah, he was hitting some atom balls out there for sure. So I don't know. It's weird because it's like you expect him just to kind of flip the switch and get back to it, but he hasn't done that just yet. So
yep.
We'll see. I don't know if he's playing at all before the Masters here. Probably, I would imagine he plays like Houston or something.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, he'll play one of those just because of convenience and living there and stuff like that. I would imagine he plays in one of those.
Yeah, so we'll see on Scotty, but I'm more concerned than I was. I thought this would be the tournament where he kind of flips it back and
not win. Maybe he doesn't win, but like you would think, like maybe at least a top 5, maybe a decent round Sunday gets him back into a top 10 or something like that. But it just didn't happen.
Yeah. T32 for Spieth. What a goddamn Spieth of a week. I mean, he almost made 7 birdies at one point in a row on Friday. And, man, just absolutely wrecked his rig from the rest of the tournament, basically.
Who was that? Was that Dylan? Who was that?
Yeah, Dylan DeTrere with the tweet where it's like anytime they cut to a golfer behind a tree, it's Jordan Spieth.
Yeah, and it's the truth. That is like every time, like, because they're not going to show some rando like in the trees. Like it's going to be a big name, and it's always him.
If I had known that it was going to be Spieth, Sahith, and Ricky paired together for the first 2 rounds of the tournament, I might have tried to get a ticket for this tournament because that had to be a wild watch on Thursday and Friday.
Oh yeah, that was a good pairing though. Honestly,
that's the bring a helmet pairing is what you need. Yeah. Last we've got 2 guys. T46 for Rory with the back injury. I don't know. I didn't get to see much of him this week, so I don't know. But we'll see if he pops up at one of these
definitely
events.
Definitely worrisome for sure.
Yeah. And then WD for Morikawa, speaking of back injuries, who on a practice swing, buddy, I feel you. The second hole just like tapped out.
Every dude over the age of 30 was like, yep. Like, been there, done that. Like,
yeah. So funny with that is the one and done that we're doing or whatever, just with the 4 of us or 5 of us. Shout out to Aaron who subbed in Cam Young after I told him
what
he could have a new
rat, pick. By the way.
Yeah, I shouldn't have been so nice to you guys with Morikawa.
Yeah, no, never again. Like, if WD's a WD, bud, you're not getting that treatment anymore.
Yeah, so that's a nice win for Aaron there. Yeah, so he'll owe us a drink on Friday at his house. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. The last thing, Back96 Pack Award. You follow any of this? You checking out the bottom of the leaderboard like I do?
I did a little bit today. Yes, I did.
There were a lot of 80s out there. A lot of ways we could go with this pick. But to me, there was definitely one that stood out.
Hold on. I had this screenshotted. Let me go ahead. You can go ahead. I had this screenshotted. I'll tell you who I chose.
Okay. I took round 1. Now, I'm sorry to kind of kick a man while he's down, but Davis Riley shoots a 40 on his front 9 in round 1 with 2 doubles. He doubled 4 and 5. The rest were pars. Makes a turn to the back 9. Birdie's 10. Nice, right? Proceeds to go double, par, bogey, double, bogey, birdie, triple, bogey for a smooth 44 with 2 birdies to finish off an 84. That is what we call the Mitch Wilcox. 84 with 2 birdies. Sign me up.
Oh,
that is my nomination for the Back96 Pack Award this week.
Hold on, I'm pulling this up now. All right, so mine was Kevin Yu.
Oh yeah, I saw this one too.
So he shoots. So he goes, starts out pretty good. Started on the back 9 on the second round.
Yeah,
birdie's 13. It's pretty good birdie. Depending on where the pin is on that hole. The bottom left they have it on Sunday is like probably the easiest pin because you can kind of just hit it out there and let it funnel down.
Yep.
I don't know. I didn't watch any on Friday, so I don't know where the pin was at, but that's a good birdie. Then he proceeds to go bogey on 15 and 16, birdie 17, and then doubles 18. Shoots 38 on the front. Should have gotten one. because he starts out bogey, birdies 2. That's pretty much a par. But then he gets the 7 and 8 and goes triple double to finish off a back 940 for a 78. He should have gotten one. Like, you doubled 18, dude. That's your sign, cue. Right? Like, that's your fucking sign. Like, you should have gotten one. Like, it'd be one thing if you birdied 18, making the turn. You're like, okay, maybe we found something. No, he should have gotten it after the double.
Yeah, I agree with that. The Davis Riley one was kind of a sneaky. It's like, I shot 40, but I had 2 doubles. So you're kind of maybe. Then he birdies 10. You're like, oh shit, I'm good. Little did you know it was coming, kind of thing, you know.
Oh God!
Yeah,
it actually surprises me how hard 9 plays. Like, you just in your head, you're like par 5, right? But like, dude, people struggle with that hole.
Yeah,
like really struggle with that hole.
There, a lot of times where I was tracking guys for matchup bets and things like that, they get to a par 5, you're like, all right, cool, I'm going to get one here, and then you just don't get one.
I would say on the front 9, that's the one hole I really remember, like, remembering a shot. Because like, when I played there, I think I was like 14 or something. I wasn't that old, and it was a long time ago. But like, that second shot is like underrated hard. Like, not like the layup area is not like super big. Kind of got that bunker that runs down the left side. You got that tree that kind of hangs over the left. Like, so if you're going to go for it, like, I was so young, I wasn't going for it. But like, the layup area is not like very fitting to the eye. Like, it is like an underrated, like, hard second shot. Whether you're going for it or laying up, you know, especially for amateurs, laying up is not always a given, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of holes like that out there.
Yeah.
You're just even barely a little bit out of position, and it's, you know, you've got a serious decision to make.
Well, and I think it's, if you get into position, it's like, all right, this isn't that bad. But like, if you get out of position, it's like one shot can become very difficult. And I think that's one of them. Like, if your drive's not in the right spot, like going for it in 2 is pretty much out of the question. You know, like, you're trying to hit a 3-wood like over a tree, like, there's a lot that can go wrong there, you know. And up by the green's not like, oh, it's like, all right, if I hit it up by the green, it's like an easy up and down. That's not the case at all either. So,
no. Yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah.
Plus, anytime you've got water up the right and trees left, it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, just uneasy.
Little bit of side note. I saw our guy Jay on the broadcast on Saturday. I was watching guys come through 17 on. That was the little bit that I saw on Saturday. I saw our guy come through with Stephen Fisk. So, Steven had that putt right in the jaws. I opened for birdie. I actually live bet it that Stephen Fisk was going to birdie it when I saw him rounding. So I was a little disappointed that he ended up parring. He had it straight in the jaws too. But
yeah, so Steven T62, so not dead last of the guys who made the cut. Even par yesterday. Had a nice back 9, shot 34 on the back. So, yeah.
But like guys like him, dude, made cuts in tournaments like that. It's a big deal. It's a really big deal.
Yeah, huge deal. Yeah, I think, you know what, we'll give out 2 this week for the players. We got Davis Riley and Kevin. You can both share the award. they should have got one together at the turn. Any other final players' thoughts before we move on?
No, now it's just like it feels like a little couple detours and we're at the Masters. So
I know. It's crazy. Yeah, we're like less than a month now at this point.
Yep, we're off to the Snake Pit this week, right? For the Valspar.
Valspar, Valero, Houston, Masters.
Yeah. Sneaky, by the way, Snake Pit, sneaky hard. Sneaky hard. It's a weird course. It's kind of, I don't want to say similar to TBC at Sawgrass, but like kind of a lot of water, kind of tight, kind of different design, kind of have to be in position, like kind of the same feel coming off the players here, but it is sneaky hard. It just doesn't get the field. I think we talked about that a couple of weeks ago. It just doesn't get the field that I think it'd be a really good tournament if it got the field.
Yeah, every once in a while you'd have an odd year where you'd get, Spieth, Reed.
There's always like there's always like 1 or 2 big names, but
there was a year Tiger played it when he was kind of making one of his comebacks. Like there, you get some, but for the most part, now that the schedule's moved around like this,
you're not playing in that right after the players and Arnold Palmer.
most guys are taking off, and they might play one of the Texas events before, and then that's it. Yeah, all right. Well, that kind of takes us to our main event for the night. It is March Madness. Last year we had our big bracket where, with Nick and Gunth, we got together and kind of a meeting of the minds on our favorite sports, fictional sports characters. Sorry. We didn't go that deep this year, but I spent a little time. I was kind of inspired by this the conversation around, the players being a major is back. It feels like it comes back every 5 years.
Yep.
And so it kind of got me thinking of and I had a great time watching the players this weekend. So I was like, what are the true good championship golf courses that we get to watch the professionals play on? And so I was like, you know what? I can come up with a little field of, 16 or whatever here we can mess around with on the show tonight. So I put together a bracket, and it just is exactly that. Best championship golf venues is how I've named this. And to kind of just let everybody know where my head's at, I told you earlier, it's a proprietary model. Okay, this is all from from my own brain here. But what I did, I kind of just went and I'm talking about the experience you have when watching the tournament, when watching, these courses host an event. And I kind of added a little weight in if, it's highly ranked in the world or whatever. Gave a little more favoritism towards, more, I don't want to say more modern courses because there are quite a few very old, obviously ones, but some courses they've got a good history of major championships, but they haven't hosted one in quite a while, right? So I was trying to put a little more juice towards events tournaments that have held events, major championships, things like that more recently. And that's kind of how I came up with this ranking. So bear with me here. I got the seedings here, but I'm going to start, as every good tournament does, with the first 4 out. Right, the last 4 are to miss the cut here. On that list for me, I have LACC, Southern Hills, Olympic Club, and Kiowa Island. All recent major hosts, all except for maybe LACC doesn't quite have the tournament history that these other ones do, but just kind of 4 that felt a little bit flat compared to the other courses on the list I had.
Yeah, I think I pretty much agree with everything you said other than LACC. I think
you're you don't even want that involved.
I think if you ask anybody, the ones other ones you name, those are probably borderline. If you tiered the courses, right? That would be tier 1 is the ones that we have here, and then tier 2 would be a Southern Hills, right? Things like that. I think I would definitely agree with that.
Well, I'll tell you, actually, to get into some tier conversation real quick, just so you can understand my process, I had 12. I was like, all right, these are in the field.
Yeah.
And then I had kind of that. So that to me is sort of, you could say tier 1, but there's probably an A tier of tier 1 and then a B, whatever. Then I had kind of a bucket of 8 where I'm like, all right, these are our playing games to get to 16, right? So those 8 played off against each other, and that's for those final 4 spots. And then I had these were kind of the next up to your point where you're just saying they just don't quite hit the same criteria as these other top 20. So basically I came up with a top 24 for 16 spots.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So what were you going to say about LACC?
If I could, my first 4 out, if I took LACC off, I kind of toyed around with a couple courses. One, I think Olympic Club could be on here. If you watch the Walker Cup this year, that place is really good. Really good. I think it's almost we haven't had a really big event there in a little bit. So you're kind of it's not fresh in your brain. I think if we went to this fresh off of Olympic Club US Open, it'd probably be in this field.
2012.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, 2012. It got dinged for that. That's the last time it's had a major. I mean, I know it had the Walker Cup, but that's the last real for casual fans. The last thing they know about.
So people are going to hate this. I like Aaron Hills.
I don't know Aaron Hills.
I think it's more Wisconsin's got a good aesthetic to it too.
Yeah,
I know they kind of tore it up the last time they were there, but that's all dependent on the weather. I truly believe that. Like, if you could play that course how it's probably meant to be played, which is kind of like firm and fast, and you can kind of get some weird pins and stuff like that. I think it's probably the last time they went there would have been better. But Erin Hills, I don't know. I like Erin Hills. That would probably be one of my last ones out.
Yeah, if you wanted to go to like a next 4 out, it basically is like all these Midwest courses like you're talking about. It's Erin Hills, it's Hazeltine, it's Medina.
Yeah.
It's like all of those that I think were just kind of feel
like
meh.
Good, but they're not like good enough. Like just not good enough, right?
Yeah, that's how I felt about it.
And I think that's sort of like Southern Hills is like the perfect example of that. Like, yes, it's awesome. And the last tournament we had there was fantastic.
Great.
But it's like, is it memorable? Not really. I mean, kind of, but not really. I think if the tournament sucked, you probably don't remember as much of Southern Hills from the last time we were there.
Right.
Kind of deal. Like, I think that's kind of what Erin Hills, it's like the last US Open there sucked, right? But the ones before that were pretty good, so, but like the last one sucks. So you're like, okay, kind of throw it to the wayside. Medina's kind of got a weird spot for a lot of US fans because we completely botched the Ryder Cup there. So yeah, I think that's, I'd agree. It was like probably going to be a ton of Midwest, like Illinois, Wisconsin courses that,
and there's also
like that second tier.
Right, and there's also this contingent, like, I put Kiowa in this bucket too, right, where it's like, I don't really think it's a good course.
No, but the aesthetics are, like, so good there. You're like, like when they played the last PGA there, you're like, Phil's coming up 18, you're like, you got the ocean there.
Yeah.
It kind of does suck you in a little bit, but then you realize, like, same thing. It's like, it's an average, very, very average, like, major course.
Yeah, I feel like there's these courses like Kiowa that are... The PGA, specifically the PGA, really is trying to just like shove them down our throats.
Yeah,
it's your Quail Hollow, it's
your Valhallas,
your Kiowa Island. It's like those where I'm just like, get out of here. You're not touching.
It's almost like those courses spent so much money to host a turn. They made changes to the course and stuff like that to make it like a good viewing experience. That the PGA's like, we're going to put a tournament here whether you fucking like it or not, like kind of deal. Like that. I feel like because Valhalla did a huge renovation like 10 years ago, like they spent all this money. Same with Kiowa's done some changes to make it a better viewing experience. Like you've got these courses that have made these changes, and I think the PGA is like, well, we can't like let them waste $50 million and not give them the tournament, kind of deal.
Yeah. And okay, so before we keep going, a couple more just clarifiers. This is not specific to just major championships. You'll see there are PGA Tour courses on here as well. And also, I went ahead and uploaded this to our website today. So it's going to be hard for people that are following along to just like listen. If you want to go check it out, just go to back96back.com. That's with the number 9, 6 is spelled out. And it's up there in the main tab of the website, or the tabs of the website. So you can just take a peek at it if you want to as you follow along. So let's get to playing games. These I tried to kind of create some, kind of like the tournament does, right? I tried to create some real like talking points here, some real debate. We'll start with, let's see, this is for the right to play the 4 seed. So this is our grouping to play for the 13 seed. Very timely argument to have here. TPC Sawgrass versus Riviera. That's our first playing game. And I wanted to start here because I was a big Riviera stan.
I was too.
And I'm
falling off the wagon. I can tell you that right now.
I am too, man. They've got done dirty. There was the wildfires. Then we had this year was wet. A lot of that stuff that kind of takes away the, one, they didn't even play it there, but 2, it's just not fun when it's wet.
Yeah, no.
And I kind of think like 10 maybe gets too much hype. 1 is like a dumb hole.
Like this is how I judge courses, right? So take it out of like Southern California, right?
Yeah.
Put that course in Oklahoma. No one talks about it.
Oh man.
I'm being serious. Like, think about it. Like, but like, here's my thing. You take TPC at Sawgrass and put it in like Georgia, people are probably still talking about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, that's kind of my weighing is like, all right, if they're close, like if I took that course out of its setting and moved it somewhere else, what course would be better? I'd say TPC Sawgrass would probably be better.
Yeah, we're gonna get so roasted for this if anybody actually finds this. Yeah, but I'm just with you. Like, again, this whole bracket is about the tournament viewing experience. What is the best championship golf venue? And I just think TPC Sawgrass right now is punching way above its weight.
And I think it's all the finishing holes. Like 16, 17, 18 are so good. And like the setting on Sunday, you kind of got the sun coming down, and like it always seems to provide a pretty good tournament as far as like close. There's not like, not a lot of times you see guys just run away with it, right? So you got some drama coming down on like the hardest hole, some of the most entertaining holes on the golf course. That there's something to be said about that. Like, does Riv have that? 18's okay. Like, it's kind of a tough tee shot, kind of a funky second shot, but it's not like, hey, if you miss this shot by 7 yards, it's in the water, right?
Yeah.
Kind of deal.
And I'm sure, like, architecturally speaking, Riv probably blows TPC Sawgrass out.
I mean, we're not talking about architecture. Like, we're talking from like an entertainment value, like, course, right?
Yeah. So for me, if it's not obvious, I'm taking TPC Sawgrass here.
I am too. Yeah, I am too. I used to be a big Riv fan, and part of that's like the time of year it is. Like, we're kind of cusping into March when the tournament is, and like that, you see all this green grass, and it kind of just draws you in. But yeah, I think TPC's, and it might be recency bias. I'll take the accusation of that, but I think TPC definitely wins this.
All right, sweet. Glad we're in agreement there. All right, battling for the 14 seed, the right to play the 3 seed. I've got Royal Birkdale versus Wingfoot. This is a tricky one because I just don't like Wingfoot. And so I was trying to find a better matchup for it to have a better conversation here. But if you're just asking me, like, I'm going to take an Open at Birkdale over a U.S. Open at Wingfoot any day.
Oh, see, I like Wingfoot.
Yeah, I get it. And I got to tell you,
memories there, like, you got the whole Phil, like, just feels like he's got his one, he's finally going to get that U.S. Open melts down,
Yeah.
I think notable, Bryson, it was a COVID year, right? Or the COVID year. But man, the way he just kind of, everybody else played like shit and he kind of just manhandled that course. Like, that to me is definitely something to be said about that. That's pretty memorable when you have someone kind of outrun everybody on a golf course everybody's struggling with. Kind of like Tiger at Pebble. Like, everybody else struggled and he kind of just tore it up. That Bryson's wasn't on that level, but he he played way better than everybody else that week, and he's kind of just bombed and gouged that place. But I like Wingfoot just for the most recent U.S. Opens they've had there.
Yeah, I think the thing that Wingfoot has going for it is what you just said, right? It's the history of the last couple tournaments. The logo is cool, admittedly. Yeah. So it has things working for it.
Too. It's like New York. Like it's not a terrible location. Like that helps it for sure.
Yeah. So to me, it's just the one thing about Wingfoot is it represents like the worst form of U.S. Open golf for me, where it's just like
old
narrow
style
fairway,
country club, narrow fairway.
I don't mind old style country club, but just like Bryson just bombed and gouged his way to a U.S. Open championship, and it just was like the long rough around the greens, just hit it 350 and go find it.
It kind of goes back to what we were saying when with Riv, it's like the time of year that they played that U.S. Open in, it was never going to be dry, right?
That's a good point.
So can he do that? Can he be in the rough and kind of do what he did if the greens are firm? Probably not. I wouldn't think.
Yeah.
At least maybe not on the level that he did it on. He kind of was just hitting it in the rough and just like flopping things up on the green. And it was like, this isn't fun. But you could see how it could go very differently if it wasn't the time of year it was in.
Yeah, that's a good point. I probably overrated that factor here. I'm still going to take Birkdale, but I respect your Wingfoot take. And little sneak preview for the next round. That is an awesome matchup against Oakmont. Little 314 action there that, heavy hitters of U.S. Open courses there. All right, next playing game. We've got the 15 seed. This is Oak Hill versus Whistling Straits. couple PGA championship. One's got a little more storied history. One's a little more, kind of new age, modern, faux link style. This is tough because I don't want to just kind of shit on Oak Hill or anything, but I just love watching Whistling Straits, man.
Yeah.
I can't help it.
I think Oak Hill's from a dude, you get Buffalo fans, it's electric, but that doesn't mean it's my favorite, major or tournament setup. I think the last crowd at Oak Hills was fantastic. You had the whole, all the storylines and all this stuff, but Whistling Straits, again, it's the Midwest aesthetic, dude. And here's the thing. If you were actually traveling to a tournament, God love Buffalo fans. I think they're the best some of the best sports fans we have in America. But go up to Whistling Straits and then travel over to Oshkosh and hop into a Wisconsin dive bar, between rounds that. Nothing compares to that. Nothing.
Yeah, and I just think back to the last few Whistling Straits, obviously a U.S. domination of a Ryder Cup. You had the height of Jason Day versus the height of Jordan Spieth for a PGA Championship. Yeah. You had DJ with the bunker incident.
Yeah.
Keimer and Bubba involved. There's just been some bangers that have happened at that course.
Yeah, and then you throw in the Ryder Cup where, the last time we just absolutely dismantled Europe. That helps the cause. I think this is a no-brainer. I like Oak Hills, but Whistling Straits has got to be the winner here.
Yeah, that's where I'm at as well. And then this one, another one I tried to pair up intentionally for the 16 seed. Bethpage Black versus Torrey Pines. A couple of, U.S. Open.
I would say they're the same course, but on separate sides of the country.
Yeah. couple public golf courses, hallmarks of the U.S. Open, I wouldn't have answered this way a bit ago, but I've had a little bit of a change of heart when you look back at Torrey Pines. I know when I watch it, I complain because I'm I don't know what hole they're on. All the holes kind of look the same.
Yep. That's the problem.
For whatever reason, the tournament always delivers. There's always a good finish at Torrey Pines.
Don't disagree with that.
You've got the Tiger Woods versus Rocco thing is carrying a lot of weight for it in terms of history.
Yeah, that's.
But John Rahm's finish to win his U.S. Open was pretty electric.
Good. Yeah.
I just with Bethpage Black, I feel like this is one of those things where somebody tells you it's good so much that you're I just don't like that thing. That's how I feel about Bethpage Black.
I feel the same way about Torrey.
I get that too. Yeah.
Someone you hear dude, what, you don't like Torrey? Yeah. And then you have to defend your take so much because everybody just kind of gets sucked into Torrey. I've never played Torrey. I've been to Torrey. I've never played it. And I will tell you, if you've ever been there, it does suck you in. The views,
sure.
You just see the course and like you said, the playoff between Rocco and Tiger, you look out and you're shit, dude, that's where Tiger hit that bunker shot from. It just kind of drags you in.
Yeah.
But I just can't at least at Bethpage, I know what hole they're on. There's something about just the holes blending together is just not very memorable. And I think everybody kind of forgets that because they're oh, fuck, they're next to a cliff. It's so cool. I think that's it outweighs the views outweigh the actual golf course.
100%. Yeah, that's one of those where if you took it off the coast, what would it be kind of thing.
Put that in Rancho Cucamonga, and that place is a $30. It's a $30 muni.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. All right, well, so you're going to take Bethpage there. I'll take Torrey. No, not a strong opinion, but that's just where I'm going in this current moment. So that gets us to the actual bracket now. Let's just.
I think we run it down the left side, probably.
Yeah, let's just run it down the
green
left
jacket
side.
Bracket.
Yeah, so I broke these down. That's another thing too. I put them in the regions, 4 teams per region. This one is the green jacket region. Of course, you can assume Augusta National got my number 1 spot. I know people would argue there are better courses or whatever, but the Masters is kind of the major.
Just
and Augusta's
it is what it is kind of thing.
Yeah. So I put that number 1 because you just know every April it's the one that gets the most hype, the most lead in. you know what you're getting.
Major, yeah.
Yeah. So the Masters really never misses. So that's why Augusta National is there. Obviously going to have that taking down Torrey Pines for me.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I think that's a no-brainer. No, unfortunately, no UMBC Terrier Cinderella story here for Beth Page or Torrey.
Yeah. Now, for the 8-9 matchup here, pretty intriguing battle here because we've got, these are both open rota courses. One's got a ton of history, sick nickname. The other one more recent to the scene, but is quite a banger of a course if you really look at it.
Yeah, it was pretty good Open Championship last year.
Yeah, so this is the 8 seed Carnoustie, aka Carnasty, and the 9 seed Royal Portrush. This one's tough for me, but I would say I've tended to lean more towards the historical ones, especially with the Open. And Carnoustie, man, like even if you just go back to the last time we were at Carnoustie with coming down the stretch, with Tiger and Francesco, and something about the tournament just at Carnoustie, it feels like an Open to me.
It's the only course, and this is why I'm going back to Scotland. Unfortunately, our day on the old course lined up at Carnoustie, and we chose the old course. Just kind of how it shook out when we were making tee times, but I know so many people that played Carnoustie, and I think it's the only course super far away from where we're at, right? Where people come off and go, that's the hardest course I've ever played in my life.
Yeah.
Like, I every time I hear it from someone that's played there, like, that's the hardest course I've ever played in my life. I know people that have played it on like non-windy days, and they're like, that course is so hard. And it's like, every time when you hear that, it's just like there's a certain amount of respect that comes with that.
Oh, dude, the bunkering there is just so. That's why it's called Carnasty, right? Like, whew.
And 18 is like could be up there with like one of the hardest finishing holes of a major golf course. Like, that hole is unbelievably hard. That tee shot is like not for the faint at heart.
No.
Like, it is. It's got everything. I feel like.
Yeah, I really like Carnoustie. I don't know when they're going back, but I'm looking forward to it.
And
for
nothing
sure.
the Royal Port Rush. I loved the Royal Port Rush this past year. Like, I thought it was fantastic venue. It's just you get Scotty winning, and then previously Shane Lowry got it done there. It was a good story. Like I've enjoyed Port Rush a ton too. Yeah, tough 8-9 matchup. It's kind of one of those things like you like both of them, but like there's one that just has it, and then the one that does not.
Yeah. For sure. All right, continuing on down, this is your 4 seed, Pebble Beach, up against TPC Sawgrass. Do you feel good about the 4 seed for Pebble? Does that feel right?
They feel slightly overseeded.
You think it's overseeded? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's slightly overseeded, and only because, again, it's kind of one of the, I think Pebble's got like very, very memorable holes kind of across this. Like, there's a few in there you're kind of like, okay, whatever. But like, for the most part, pretty memorable holes. I just think it's kind of one of those courses that doesn't quite have the history for, like, because we're talking U.S. Opens, right? Like, I'm not talking AT&T, whatever. We're talking like hosting U.S. Opens. It's kind of one of those courses that feels like it's been outgrown from technology, but then like doesn't have the history of like, we're going to talk about another course on here that has the history that's probably been outgrown from technology. I don't know. And maybe the last time we had it here just wasn't I don't think it was like a super awesome tournament. No offense to my boy Gary Woodland, but like, I don't know. There's something about it. It does feel slightly overseeded. Now, is it going to win its first round match? Probably. Yeah. But
yeah, this is by the way, this is the anchor region, play on words of the anchor sites for the USGA, Pebble being one of them. I think for me, what it came down to was like, me personally, if you ask me, close my eyes and picture the US Open, what do I see? It would be Oakmont. But if you ask that to a lot of the people and golf fans around the country, they'd say Pebble Beach. And that's kind of why, and for me, that's what it was.
We've talked about it on here before. West Coast U.S. Opens are absolute bangers because you can go do what you have to do. I mean, it's usually on Father's Day, the last round. You can go have cookouts. You can do all this stuff. And at 6 o'clock, you can sit down and watch pretty much the entire last round. Like, you can have the whole day and watch the last round at 6 o'clock. That's why it's elite. Like, West Coast, and I think that probably carries more weight than I'm probably giving it credit for.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things, too, where for the longest time, people will say, like, okay, you want to win the Masters. You want to win the Open at the Old Course. You want to win the U.S. Open at Pebble. Like, people would say that.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. So I was unsure if I had him too high or too low, so I wound up at 4, and to me that kind of felt right.
It feels like they could have teetered a 4 or a 5, maybe. Like, I'm not saying it'd be like an 8, but like, it's like they won their conference tournament and they got bumped up a seed line. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what we're talking about here.
Yeah. Speaking of, 5 seeds, Pinehurst number 2 comes in at number 5, part of this anchor region. And that's going up against 12 seed Royal Troon, which feels like a sneaky 12-5 here. You could, if you wanted to be that person.
I like Troon. I do like Troon.
I do too. I think the postage stamp kind of carries some of it, to be honest.
100%. Yeah, that's what goes without saying. Yeah, I think that one hole probably carries a lot of the weight that Royal Troon carries.
Yeah. I mean, that said, this is the site of the famous Stenson Phil duel, like an amazing tournament. Pinehurst obviously has a storied history, the Payne Stewart factor there. I just love watching golf at Pinehurst, man. The renovations of the course, like, it's just...
Yeah. It is probably our American bias, I'm not going to lie. I think, I think if we're not from America, we probably don't like Pinehurst number 2 as much, but there's something to be said about like Pinehurst, and you got the big pine trees, and it's just a good setting, I think, and it's a great golf course. It's a Donald Ross.
Yeah, we got to get
who doesn't like
the Godfather on here. Yeah, and the last one we had there, the famous Bryson shot and the Rory kind of collapse at the end. Like, it's produced some really good events as well.
Yes, it has. And one of my first lasting memories from the U.S. Open was the Payne Stewart putt. Like, that's kind of like right when I started getting into like watching golf, and I remember that putt vividly. He's wearing the knickers and like does the fist pump. It's just an all-time moment.
Yeah, 100% agree. All right, flipping over to the right side of the bracket. This is the home region. Named after or for the Old Course. Is the 2 seed here, the favorite in this bracket. We both have it going up against Whistling Straits. The Old Course just kind of rolls in this one.
Yeah, I mean, like, I love Whistling, but man, there's something about the Old Course that just feels unbeatable. We'll see. Yeah.
And then also part of the reason the home of golf here region, I had Muirfield in this bracket as well, the 7 seed. Maybe seeded too low, to be honest. I don't know. That's a tough one. Up against Marion, 10 seed. Sneaky. I felt like I maybe overseeded them, but I love Marion.
I like Marion too. Dude, there's something about those wicker baskets too, man. It sucks you in. It does suck you in. I don't know. Like, I like Marion, but man, Muirfield's like it's another one. Like, I know people that play and they're like, dude, that course is not easy. Like,
it might be
not easy.
Like, I personally love the Old Course, but like Muirfield might be the best open rota course.
Probably, yeah. I would say, it's up there for sure. It doesn't get the love I think it probably should.
No, I think it's just kind of one of those where, like you said, it doesn't get the love it probably deserves as a course.
I like Marion though. I just think for me, Muirfield's just kind of one of those, like, it's kind of when you hear the Open's going to be at Muirfield, you're like, I'm going to watch more than I normally do.
Yeah, to me, like I just said, the Old Course is my favorite Open venue, but I think Muirfield is probably number 2.
Yep, I'd agree with that.
So far, no upsets. I don't know that we're going to get one as we move down here. The Golden Age region, as we'll see why. We've got Oakmont here. I had Royal Birkdale as the 14, Oakmont as the 3. You've got Wingfoot moving forward. A couple brute U.S. Open courses head-to-head. I love Oakmont. Like I said, if someone asked me to picture the U.S. Open with my eyes closed, I think of Oakmont.
I mean, that course is literally built for US. Like, it's built for a US Open. Like, there's not a lot of uses for a course like that other than just having a US Open.
Yeah, what's the match thing they have going on there all the time? The book, like the
I know. God, I know what you're talking about. I'm trying to remember though.
I can't think of what it's called. That's my fault. I dropped it on the spot for you.
Is like, people hate it when they cut down the trees. I think it's fucking awesome since they cut down the trees. Like that view, like you can just kind of see everything now, like over the highway. And then you got to cross the highway, which kind of sucks, honestly. But like the fact that like you can kind of look out from the clubhouse and see the whole course like over the highway too is pretty cool now. But yeah, it was, and we've had some really good U.S. Opens there, like just this last year, right? JJ Spawn just burying, what was that, like a 55, 60 foot putt to win at Oakmont. So it's provided good entertainment, and I think if you said U.S. Open and like name a course outside of Pebble Beach, they're naming Oakmont.
Yeah, and if they're not naming Oakmont, probably another one they're naming is the 6 seed Shinnecock Hills.
Mm-hmm.
I think these two, if I had to just say like, these two are the two I think that are the most underseeded, but I didn't have anywhere to move them.
I know.
Shinnecock was the 6, and I had Royal St. George's at 11, which is just a banger of a course.
It is. It's good. But I love Shinnecock. Oh,
so do
I love Shinnecock.
And part of it is like the New York, the logo, like you think of this. Like I said, this is in the pantheon of the kind of the US
famous
Open
quote. They lost the greens. Like that happened at Shinnecock.
Yeah, I mean, when they're going to Shinnecock, it's going to be a banger of a U.S. Open because it's going to be hard as hell.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and that's why. Look, I love Royal St. George's. I think it's another one that's kind of like, if it's at Royal St. George's, I'm watching more than I probably normally would. But Shinnecock is so good. It is, and again, like, look, New York sports fans stink for the most part. Like, they're rude, but they're pretty good sports fans. Like,
yeah,
like they're entertaining sports fans. New York City and all that, and yeah, I don't know. I like Shinnecock. It's honestly probably, I'd argue it's my favorite U.S. Open setting outside. It's probably close to Oakmont. I think it's a toss up for me.
I don't disagree. I mean, I'm kind of realizing going through this bracket now, like kind of how spoiled we are for U.S. Open venues.
Yeah, no kidding.
But yeah, that's tough, and that's what makes this Elite Eight, which I think we have the same courses.
Yeah, Augusta National, Carnoustie, Pebble, Pinehurst, Old Course, Muirfield, Oakmont, Shinnecock. Is that
yes, and you can kind of see where I was cooking here with, okay, we're going to get some U.S. Open courses up against each other. We're going to get, an open course matchup, and we're going to really whittle it down here for the best championship venue. I've got Augusta kind of blowing by Carnoustie. I love Carnoustie, but
I'm not going to lie. At first I had Carnoustie moving on.
If you have an argument for it, I'd listen.
But the more I thought about it, I'm like, look, I think Carnoustie is a fantastic host for the Open, but it's Augusta National. Like, it just kind of is what it is. Yeah. Like, it just, when you hear people talk about when they go there, and unfortunately I've not been there yet, and they're just like, no grass, no blade of grass is out of place, no flowers out of place. Like, kind of hard to be like, yeah, you're not making it out of the next round. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. So for the right to face Augusta in the next round here, we've got Pebble versus Pinehurst down in the Anchor region. This is tough. And it's hard to do the thing where, like, if Pebble wasn't on the coast, what would it be? Because it is on the coast. And it's on the West Coast. And we know, like I said, prime time U.S. Opens are elite of elite for us on the East Coast. But I went with number 2. I had to. Like I said, one of my first memories of, like, watching golf is, Payne Stewart making that putt. Kind of rainy. Like, a lot of sentimental feelings come up, obviously, given that he passed away like less than a year later. That guy like embodied like American golf, which I think
makes Pinehurst even that much more special. I know it's not like the actual course, but like to me, Payne Stewart is Pinehurst. So
yeah, I mean it's the cradle of American golf, right? Like that's why it's called that. It's Donnie, our boy Donnie.
Yep.
Despite all of that, I think I'm gonna take Pebble. Just which of the two would I like if I had to pick which one I want to watch? U.S. Open and Pinehurst, U.S. Open and Pebble.
I get that.
I think I'm just going to take Pebble just because.
I'm not going to argue with that on you because, like, I think they're very, very close.
Now, I would rather play Pinehurst. Like, personally, if I had to pick which course to play, I'd want to play Pinehurst over Pebble.
100%. Yeah,
but watching a tournament, a championship,
like actually watching, yeah. No, I get
I'm
that.
Take Pebble. Flipping over to the Old Course versus Muirfield in the home region. I'm going to take the Old Course.
Yeah, it's a special place. Like it's really, I don't like. It just is a special. There's only one St. Andrews. It's all you can say. Like you can't replicate it. You can't like. There's only going to be one of it, right? So
yeah, it's
hard.
like.
And again, I know technology's outgrown that course. I get it. Like I understand the arguments behind it, but I don't care. I don't care if they start shooting 35 under at that course. I don't care.
No.
It doesn't bother me one bit.
No, and it like to me the Open, the kind of the bookend of the first tee and the announcements there, and then the walk when you're coming up the 72nd hole. It's got the best.
It's elite.
It's got the best. It's got the best of all the road courses. I mean that walk up 18, that first hole when you're getting
the road hole, like it is just all fantastic. Yeah. Like those last two holes are just unbelievable.
Yeah. So that one moves on for both of us. The match play at Oakmont is called the SWAT, by the way.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That rings a bell now. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Oakmont versus Shinnecock. As I look at it on the paper.
I can tell you which one I went with.
Well, I kind of want to take Shinnecock, even though I'm the one that ranked Oakmont third here.
I took Shinnecock.
Because, like, I picture the U.S. Open as Oakmont, but, like, which do I want to watch?
Shinnecock, 100%. I think it's harder. I really do think it's harder.
Yeah, and I feel like Oakmont can get in the trap of being, like, a little too lush, which I'm never the biggest fan of.
Yeah.
Man, I'm going to flip myself on my own bracket here. I'm going to take Shinny.
That's what I took. Yeah.
We're agreeing too much. This is not good.
Yeah, I know. I don't like it. I don't think we're going to agree on the next one, though. So.
Yeah, well, we do have a difference. So my Final Four is Augusta versus Pebble, the Old Course versus Shinnecock. You've got Augusta versus Pinehurst, and the Old Course versus Shinnecock, right?
Yep.
Okay. I'm taking Augusta to the finals. That's just happening.
I'm taking number 2 to the finals. I love Augusta National. But again, there's something about it. It's like the sentimental, like nostalgia behind number 2.
I feel like this is a play against the Old Course for you, where you just wanted to get a U.S. Open course in.
I know.
But you're gonna.
Honestly, it was tough. Like when I was thinking about Old Course and Shinnecock, I love Shinnecock that much. I really do. Like it is like. To me, one of the, if not the toughest test, what they go to for a U.S. Open.
Yeah.
But they lost the greens.
They lost them. Man, I guess I'm more of a traditionalist here. I'm going to take the Old Course over Shinnecock.
I ended up doing that as well. Yeah. I did. There's something about like too like, and I didn't bring this up since we've been talking about it. But, like you walk down like the road or like the sidewalk next to 18, and they've got stones for everybody that's won like the Open at the Old Course. Like you like seeing Tiger Woods. You see all these names. You're like, fuck, this place is like it's one of one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what makes this pick tough because. Notably, Augusta only plays the Masters. I mean, I know they have the ANWA, the women's amateur now.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, the Old Course, that'll host other tournaments. It hosts Walker Cups, all kinds of stuff. So, when you're trying to decide the best championship golf venue, that's a bit of a knock against Augusta. But with that said, as a fan watching, they say the tournament doesn't start till the back nine on Sunday at the Masters for a reason. And I just think, there's no other course that I know as intimately that I've never played is Augusta, and I think most fans could probably say the same thing. And you just know you're going to get drama. It's very rare that you're ever going to get like a runaway or anything like that. You're going to get a finish when the Masters is played at Augusta.
Yep.
And so for me, I think I'm going to take it over the old course, which kind of pains me a little bit, but I just think it's the right call.
Yeah. Yeah, this final for me, so I have Pinehurst 2 versus Old Course. I mean, there's a reason the USGA made Pinehurst number 2 like a foothold, right, for U.S. Open venue.
Yeah.
I don't ever think I know more about golf than the USGA. Like, I might have opinions, but like I don't think I think they probably know a little bit more about golf than I do, and for that reason, like it pains me too. Like I want the Old Course so bad, but if you're talking like still to date, like a true test of golf, I don't think anybody rivals like Pinehurst number 2 of like we're talking like inches on greens that like run off or your close. Like it's truly a test of golf. Like and it's kind of stood the test of time after the redo and stuff like that. So I've got to have 2 as my best golf venue.
God, that's sick. That's a sick take, and I love it.
Yeah.
I kind of went chalk towards the end here, to be honest, but like that's the fact.
I know I had a 5 seed winning. I get that. Like it, I don't know. It's kind of one of those things. Like you see a lot of Donald Ross courses have just kind of been outgrown, right? Like, they still play the Rocket at a Donald Ross course, and like those guys go on tear it up.
Yeah,
not Pinehurst number 2. Like, so and for that, I love that place.
You made the this is like the Yukon Kimball Walker run is the 5 seed here.
I agree.
You had number 2. You just had number 2 run through Troon, Pebble, Augusta, and the Old Course to win it all.
I really enjoyed last year's U.S. Open. I really enjoyed that. So,
oh yeah, that was honestly probably one of the best ones the last 10 years or so.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that was fun. I'm glad we did this. That was
a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's March Madness, it's bracket season. We had to come up with something. So yeah, like I said, that's up on our website. Anybody wants to go check that out, and you can make your own picks and roast ours. You can tell me what course I left off. I don't care. Whatever you want to let me know about, please do. And with that, we are going to head to the patio, which it freaking snowed today. It's going to be 27 degrees tomorrow, I think. This is bad. I don't like this.
It's a bad St. Patty's Day. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I want my St. Patty's Day at least 50 degrees. Like,
yeah.
It's going to be, I'm wearing a winter coat down to the pub. I don't like that. Don't like it. Don't like it one bit. We
cannot have that. Just purely can't have that. Good news is it looks like we're trending up coming out of this, hopefully. So I don't know. This weekend, 70s and sunny.
We'll see. I don't know. I'm supposed to play golf this weekend in Indianapolis. So
we're at.
And go to the rodeo.
Are you doing some scouting for our trip since Otter Creek?
I'm playing a course called Southern Dunes. I've never played there. Yeah.
So that came up in mine and Nick's research. I don't think it made the cut for us, but let us know how it is. Yeah,
it was kind of one of those things. We're going up there for the PBR rodeo and wanted to play golf beforehand, and was kind of like, all right, it's relatively close to our, I got some recommendations like heading up to Carmel. Like I know some places in like Noblesville, but those were kind of like just far enough away. It's like, do we really want to drive that far out to like go play golf and then go to the rodeo? And the ultimate decision was no. So we're going to go play Southern Dunes, which is like not far from the racetrack. Like it's probably 15 minutes from the Indy racetrack. So
nice. Yeah, definitely report back on that. as we try to find a replacement for Otter Creek, which for anybody that doesn't know and you're looking for golf in southern Indiana, Otter Creek is closed for renovations for quite a while. So count them out.
Yeah, Tom Kite redo.
Yeah. The stuff I've seen videos. It looks sick. We just did not realize that at the time. But anyway, to the patio we go. I'm going to go first because this kind of dovetails actually off of our bracket here a little bit. Have you been seeing any of these, like, okay, you can only pick watching one of bucket A or bucket B, and it's like a list?
I have seen that. Yeah.
Okay. So the first one that I saw before it really took off was a golf-specific one. And it makes it tough because, Augusta is on one side, but I think the clear answer might be the other. So I'm curious what your take here is. So column A, these are your 4 tournaments that you get to choose between. It's the Masters, the PGA Championship, the President's Cup, and the Players.
That's stinky outside of Augusta.
I know. Versus, so basically, do you want the Masters or not is the question? Because this side, I think, is a clear winner for me. The U.S. Open, the Open Championship, the Ryder Cup, and the Waste Management Phoenix Open.
I think it's got to be the second side. It just has to, I love the Masters. I do love the Masters, but
same.
Dude, giving up all those other tournaments, like pretty much every other major, right? Essentially.
Yeah. You get the PGA, but the President's Cup's so bad.
Yeah, the President's Cup's not good. You
get the Players, which is like a bump up from what the Phoenix Open, but you get the U.S. Open, the Open, and the Ryder Cup on the one side.
Well, and here's the other thing. I love the Open for the fact that you can get up at 4 a.m. and just start watching it.
Yeah.
It's and then it's done at 2 and you can just go do whatever you need to do the rest of the day. I couldn't give up that in the Ryder, those two in the Ryder Cup. There's just no way.
No, plus you got to think, like you just said, the viewing experiences of all these, right? U.S. Open's Father's Day weekend. The Open, you got the early morning viewing, some iconic venues. The Ryder Cup, same thing. You can get some early morning viewings out of those. It's a Europe versus USA. And then for me, it's hard to get much better than the Phoenix Open, just on a regular tour stop. So, I'm cool with that as kind of the worst among the 4 I'd be stuck watching.
Yeah, there's just I love the Masters. I couldn't take the Masters and give up the other 3 on the other side. There's just no way.
Yeah, the PGA is kind of just becoming stinkier after it had a little bit of a moment. And like I said, the President's Cup's just kind of to whatever. If I never had to watch the President's Cup again, I wouldn't be that mad about it. So
correct. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So pretty easy. That was a layup one, but I saw that and I just wanted to double check, sanity check myself that was the right call.
So there's a couple reasons I'm wearing this jersey. One is because obviously it's March Madness. I will be wearing this Friday, just so you know. This is my lucky jersey. Okay. I only pull this out for big games, real big games. But the question is so if you were having a random conversation with a fan of a team that you like, right? And you're trying to prove your fanship to somebody. What name are you dropping that only you as a fan would know, and who might have been a low key banger of a player? But whose name are you dropping? Any team you like, your name dropping this name is hey, I know my team.
I know ball.
I know ball.
Man, that's good. So this is always tough because I never know how deep to really go with something like this. But for the Bengals, I think a lot of it's mainly defensive side of the ball. Because they've, the last 20-something years, they've had some pretty high-profile offensive players. But a guy like Chris Crocker, safety, who just would keep popping up on these Marvin Lewis.
Yep.
It'd be every time they just had an injury or somebody couldn't play, we'll just throw Chris Crocker in there. And he was kind of a dog.
Yeah.
Another guy similar vein is Kevin Casefaharn, which that'll speak to Ryan's heart, one of his favorite Bengals, who was just a dude that went from special teamer to having to start in some few spots, and he showed up in some big moments. So those are 2 guys, deep cuts for the Bengals. I don't think he's a deep cut, but like when I think about kind of like Bearcats basketball, sort of outside of the big like Huggy Bear windows, and even some of the Mick teams. Again, not really a deep cut because he was kind of like in that Maxiel, Kenyon Martin kind of era, but like Eric Hicks was a dog. And I think he gets forgotten about as a
brother almost fought him down in Clifton one night when he was playing for the Bearcats. That would have been, it just didn't, I would be without a sibling if that ever did actually happen.
Yeah.
Eric Hicks was a fucking massive human being. But he was, dude, like the way he moved on a basketball court, you're like, you'd have never known how big he was.
Yeah.
Like he was thick. Like I say big.
Big dude.
All basketball players are tall, but I'm talking like the guy was like 5 feet wide. Like
yeah, he was like he was a very stout, like 6'9", kind of guy. So yeah, I always liked Eric Hicks, just like a real like grinder down in the paint kind of dude.
Like to me, he embodied like what Huggins like.
Yeah,
I don't know if did he play for Huggins?
I think he did.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think he did, but like he embodies like Huggins always had that like enforcer on every team he's coached, right?
Yeah,
like he was that guy. Like just go do everything that no one else, like our stars, don't want to do. Like just go do them. Like get rebounds. You might score 10 points some games, but like just do everything that nobody else wants to do.
Right. I'm trying to remember exactly this guy's name. Hold on. Hold on. There was a guy. I'm blanking on his name for some reason. Give me a sec. And I think Fletcher. God, I'm gonna get roasted by my fellow Bearcats fans out there. But this is like just like a white dude shooter guy from those like Huggins era teams. Just post up in the corner.
Oh my gosh, what was his first name?
I can't think of it.
That's gonna drive me nuts. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at the rosters and see if I can just pull a name, but I'm struggling right now. Yeah, Ryan Fletcher.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he was just a dude. You'd find him kind of post up in the corner and just knock down a three or whatever for you.
But like very passable in public. I think that has to be like on the spectrum of like how you name people. Like obviously like, okay, Hicks, you're probably not passing that dude in public and be like, you pass him in public, you're like, all right, you're either offensive lineman or you play basketball. Like and it's probably more of offensive lineman than anything, but he wasn't like a star by any means. But yeah, Fletcher was one of those guys that was kind of like, big part of that team, that he was on, but like not very memorable.
Yeah, I mean he's part of the Logan, Kenny Martin days. So like, yeah, played a lot of games, probably 20 minutes a game kind of guy. Yeah, just kind of a grinder. He stood out to me as somebody I always thought about. For the Reds, and this will be the last one I'll give you. It's tough to say this guy kind of flew under the radar as like a deep cut because his name just makes him so memorable. But Pokey Reese is one of my all-time favorite Reds.
Hell yeah. I still have his bobblehead. That's what I'm talking about.
I loved Pokey Reese. And I think most Reds fans would remember him just because his name.
Yeah.
But like, if I was talking with somebody who maybe wasn't a Reds fan, I'd throw Pokey Reese out there for sure. That dude,
100%.
That dude was awesome.
100%. I love Pokey Reese. He'd probably up there, like deep cut Reds that you're like, only Reds fans are going to know, right? Like nothing special, but to us, he was everything, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, I feel like we got really lucky kind of middle infield players throughout our, time growing up. Between Brandon Phillips, Pokey Reese, Barry Larkin, all those guys. Like, yeah, we just had a lot of dudes that I like to watch.
So I'll start out with Kentucky because I have the jersey on. So we've kind of named Patrick Sparks. Like I told you before we got on here, it's like went to Western Kentucky, transferred to Western Kentucky. I think after his sophomore year, went to Kentucky. I think when he came in, like I was pretty young at the time. I was probably 13, but like the momentum behind him was like, all right, he's going to be this guy that like kind of comes off the bench and, plays like 5 to 8 minutes a game just to give guys like breather, maybe some foul trouble. You throw him in. He's a decent shooter, right? Like pretty good shooter, undersized for sure. Like I think they had him listed at 6'1". There's no way he was over 6 foot tall. Like, but he was on some pretty memorable teams. Had a shot in the Elite Eight against Michigan State that ended up taking it into overtime. They lost the game, but like last second shot kind of like teeters, like banks around and goes in. He's got a highlight with Rajon Rondo where he throws behind the backpack, but like very undersized, pretty forgettable, but like pretty good player. I told you, I was like, I couldn't remember. I think he scored 1,000 points at Kentucky.
Damn.
But I can't remember. So he was averaging over 42% for three, like on volume too. Like not like, oh, this dude's only taking like 55 this year. Like he probably took well over 100 3-pointers in that season. Like to shoot 42% or 38%, but like he was a dog, dude. Like for being undersized, he was like every kid that was like me at 13 years old is like, I have a chance to play for Kentucky. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's kind of, that's why it was like such a draw. The other one I drop all the time, underrated like point guard for Kentucky in like the early 2000s, Cliff Hawkins was a dog, absolute dog. Like you drop that name, Kentucky fans are like, all right, this guy might know his ball. Like, because like, again, like he's not going to get in like the Kentucky Hall of Fame or anything crazy like that. His jersey's not retired, but just like an underrated point guard in like the really like heavy stages when I was like really, really started like paying attention and watching every game and stuff like that. For the Packers, this isn't fair. And then, honestly, I'm probably thinking he's way more popular than he is, but like John Kuhn.
Yeah.
Like he's a Packers staple. I think he still does like radio stuff for him and stuff.
Sure.
But like, I think outside of Packers fans, like if you said John Kuhn, people would be like, I don't really know. But I think if I was like going to drop a name for like a Packers fan to like kind of like solidify my fandom, probably like a Dorsey Levens, like pretty far back, pretty decent running back, but like he's got some running backs in they've got some running backs in their history that kind of overshadow him. Like shortly after that, they had Amon Green and like, you know, so it was kind of like one of those things like, but Dorsey Levens in the old like NFL Blitz was a dog, dude, an absolute dog.
Even in Madden back then too. Yeah.
If I'm trying to think of another one, John Kuhn was an easy out. Dorsey Levens was a little bit better, but I'm trying to think another one for the Packers that I'm like, if I dropped, you know, I don't know. I don't think I off the top of my head, I can't think. Those are the two that kind of came to my head. Like, John Kuhn for Packers fans is like, we know who John Kuhn is, but like outside of Packers fans, like probably not as well known.
Yeah, definitely. If you had a chant in the stadium, people will know who John Kuhn is, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I'll probably think of another one later on about the Packers that would be better than those two. Man, the Reds one, the Pokey Reese one's pretty good. The only other guy that like kind of came to my mind that like had a pretty memorable run for the Reds and people fucking love this guy, Scooter Gennett.
Oh yeah, Scooter.
Like he had a run with the Reds that was like bar none. Like people just fell in love with it. He kind of like embodied like what we think of Reds baseball, of like Pete Rose, hustle. Like that's kind of what he was. Although if I went deeper than that, like I really loved Austin Kearns when we had him.
Yeah.
Like my first game that I saw, it was like the 5th home game at Great American Ballpark when they moved stadiums. I won these tickets at Reds Fest. And the first game I went to, Austin Kearns hit a walk-off home run. And like loved that dude ever since. And you know, he was kind of one of those guys that came up in the farm system. Like you kind of knew, like everybody was talking about how good this guy was. He never really panned out. He kind of sucked after like a couple years, but he's another one that that's kind of like a deep cut. Like I'm an Austin Kearns guy. Like Reds fans would respect that.
Yeah, I like the Kearns one because that's like, I feel like that's deeper than like Orion Friel. You know, a lot of people know Friel, and rest in peace, obviously.
Yeah.
And then even like a Chris Heisey who had like a similar, like I put these guys kind of in that same Scooter Jeanette bucket where they were just like hustlers, right?
Yeah,
like,
and so that for me is like Austin Kearns was like homegrown, like he came up through our farm system. Like Scooter came from, I think, the Cardinals. You know, Pokey Reese, I think, was a guy that came up through our farm system.
Yeah, I can't remember for sure.
If Adam Dunn hadn't hit so many home runs, he would be a deep cut. But like he hit, I think he's like in the 400 home run club. Like as crazy as that dude struck out so much. But like Adam Dunn's pretty well known, so it's kind of hard to name him. But Austin Kearns was my guy, like from that like core memory of seeing that home run in my first game in Great American Ballpark.
Yeah. And that's one of the better Reds aesthetics too. That's the white black pinstripe with like the black undershirt.
Dude, those jerseys were sick.
Yeah.
Bring them back.
That's my childhood. Yeah, that's like my childhood right there. I get it.
Oh gosh. If I know I get shit for this all the time. Like I love Ohio State too. I like Dane Zanzenbacher. He was a wide receiver in the Troy Smith days. Like that's a deep cut wide receiver, especially because he like played on same teams with like San Antonio Holmes and shit like that. Like, there were so many good wide receivers he played with, and like he had some memorable instances with Ohio State. Like a Mike Doss, like never really panned out in the NFL, but like as an Ohio State player, like 4-year guy, went through the end of like the the beginning of the Tressel eras when he graduated, like kind of had both coaches, like Coach Cooper and him and Tressel, and then he won a national championship his last year at Ohio State. So like he's kind of a deep cut, like because he was like a safety, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like although again, he's kind of one of those guys. Like if you say Mike Doss, most Ohio State fans are like, yeah, I know Mike. Like I know who Mike Doss is. Like it's not a super deep cut within the fan base, but
right.
And Andy Katzenmoyer would be like a gigantic deep cut. Like
I don't know who that is.
He was a middle linebacker. Again, like such a good college player, just never panned out in the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah,
like,
that's
this like big back pad on, like middle linebacker, like typical like Big Ten, like 1995 to 1998 Big Ten linebacker. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
Those were always the dudes too that like were just like absolute animals in college but did not do anything professionally.
What do you mean he got drafted in the 4th round? Well, he's a linebacker and ran like a 5.2 40. You know what I mean? It's like, but he was a dog. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like why is someone only taking him in the 5th round? Like there were so many Big Ten guys like that I'm like, this dude's gonna tear it up, and like being like 14 years, like this dude's gonna tear it up in the NFL, and it's like doesn't get drafted like at all. Like
no, I know.
What the fuck, dude? He had like 135 tackles last year. Like
yeah,
that's Andy Katzenmoyer right there. Like that's 100% him.
Man, this was a great little like guys naming dude segment.
Yeah,
we haven't done that in a while.
And there were some deep cuts. The Fletcher one for UC was, I remember him. Like I obviously like I'm a Kentucky fan. Like, but like I follow enough college basketball even back then. Like. And you got to remember, like basketball used to be pretty regional. So like, if I'm going to watch college basketball, it's probably going to be a UC game. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They had some great like UC Memphis, if you remember that. Like, those such a good game. Like there was so many, dude. Steve Logan. Like, I know that's not a deep cut within UC fans, but like outside of UC fans, like that dude was a fucking baller, man. He was so good.
So good. Yeah, I love Steve Logan, man. Glory days, baby. Glory days.
Oh. Time to watch some basketball now.
Yeah, definitely. Well, on that note, we can get out of here then. Thank you all for listening. Please subscribe, rate, and review the show. Follow us on social media at Back96Pack. Good luck to your brackets. Good luck to Justin's Wildcats. And whoever you may root for, I'm rooting for a crash out. So.
I mean, we might go live if it's a close game. We might have to go live, but everybody can just live it with me, and you can make fun of me. I don't really care.
Yeah,
I've crashed out in front of plenty of people before, so.
Oh, this will be good. All right, everybody. Until next time. Cheers.
See ya. Oh. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Back 9 Six Pack. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Back 9 Six Pack for all your content needs. We'll see you guys next week. Cheers.